The Toronto Blue Jays are currently ranked 27th in pitching to start the year. Yep, you heard that right, folks. Now, I imagine that statistic probably surprised a decent amount of you because so far we really haven't been hearing a ton about the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff. In fact, most of the conversations about the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff have been about praising guys like Yusei Kikuchi and Jose Barrios, and if anyone's gonna criticize this team, usually it's gotta do with the hitting. But considering where the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff ranks in comparison to the rest of the MLB, I wanted to answer the question, should we be worried about the Blue Jays pitching? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, folks, we're going to be talking about those pitchers and discussing whether or not it's something to be worried about or if it's an area that will get better with time. Before we get into it, I encourage you guys to hit the like and smash the subscribe button if you enjoy Blue Jays content and discussion so you don't miss any future videos. Alright, folks, let's get into it. So as I mentioned off the top of this video, the Blue Jays are currently ranked 27th in pitching with a team ERA of 4.72. Clearly, being ranked 27th in the MLB and having an ERA of 4.72 is not very good. So who are the guys that are causing the Toronto Blue Jays to be ranked so low? Well, let's first start out with who's not to blame. As I mentioned earlier, Jose Barrios and Yusei Kikuchi have been absolutely phenomenal at baseball to start the season. Both of them have been 100% locked in to start the season, and La Maquina is, well, a freaking machine. On the flip side of things, though, there are definitely some starters who aren't doing as hot right now. Kevin Gausman and Bowden Francis have both looked rather rough to start the year, but I'm actually not too worried about it. Gausman is coming off of his best outing of the season against the New York Yankees and should continue to improve, and Bowden Francis is already kind of losing his job to Yariel Rodriguez anyway, so as long as Yariel Rodriguez continues to do well, we might not have to see too much of Bowden Francis. So honestly, the rotation, even though there are some ERAs that don't look too sexy, I do think that it should be on the upswing, which means that we've got to look at the bullpen. At the time of recording this video, there is currently 5 Toronto Blue Jays in the bullpen who have an ERA over 4. That is obviously not very good and definitely something that needs to change, but similarly to the rotation, I think that the bullpen's going to be on the upswing as well. Jordan Romano and Eric Swanson are 2 of those players who currently have an ERA over 4, but the sample size with those guys is just so small that it's really hard to go off of, and ultimately, I am sure that for those dudes in particular, they are gonna bounce back. The 3 remaining guys in the bullpen who have an ERA over 4 right now is Trevor Richards, Genesis Cabrera, and Tim Mayza, and for these guys, I am a little bit concerned.
Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Trevor Richards, as we have seen in the past, can definitely have his ups and downs, and even though that changeup can be filthy, it can also get cranked when he's not hitting his spots. Genesis and Mayza are especially concerning, though, because those are the only 2 lefties that we have in the pen, and right now, both of them are doing pretty bad. Mayza has an ERA of 9.45, and Genesis isn't that much better at 8.22. Jace Journal says, one alarming statistic in Mayza's year-to-year progression is his fastball velo, which is down almost 2 full ticks from 93.4 to 91.6 miles per hour from 2023 to this year. And as a pitcher who relies predominantly on 2 pitches, this doesn't bode well for him. Having Mayza or Genesis or really any lefty from the bullpen do well would be huge for the Toronto Blue Jays, and if they do continue to struggle, that could be a problem. That being said, though, should we be worried about the Toronto Blue Jays pitching as a whole, considering they are currently ranked 27th in ERA? I personally don't think so, yet. Yes, there are still problems here, and there are certainly guys who need to get better, but I think that Gausman is gonna start looking more like Kevin Gausman. I think that the additions of Jordan Romano and Eric Swanson, that is inevitably going to help your bullpen. And then I also think that Yariel Rodriguez coming in, that should take some of the load off of Bowden Francis, and that might even help him get better as the season goes on. Ultimately, folks, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to need to see their pitching continue to get better, because as we know, this Blue Jays team relies on their pitchers. But even though the stats look a little scary right now, I do think that they will be on the upswing with time. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Jays go!